everyone. Today I have a project share. This is my first wall hanging I made for my friend Darby. A couple of videos ago I showed a wedding gown that Darby had given to me to use for my projects. This was actually her idea, and well, I had finally gathered the courage to cut up the dress and make use of it on my previous project and on this project, and I did that because I felt better after she gave me her blessing to cut this gown. Anyway, well, what I did was I cut two rectangular pieces of this blue velvet, and I sandwiched a piece of felt. Actually, it was a stiff felt in between two pieces of this blue velvet, and then I glued around three areas, both sides and the bottom, but I left about 1/4 inch gap so that I could tuck in these gathered laces on both sides and also these dangle pieces. Now, as far as the top, right here, I created this channel using a piece of Darby's wedding gown. I stitched it on the sewing machine and attached it to the velvet piece. I wanted to make sure it's secure, because this wall hanging, it's kind of heavy. So then after I did that, I attached layers of gathered trims in between the velvet fabric. So I have this vintage one that I bought from a antique store, and this eyelet trim also, and I'll show you the rest when I show you the other side. Okay, so I did the same thing on this side, and then I attached a layer of let's see, this organza to make the blue velvet look more subtle. And then I popped this trim I had in my stash, and this piece right here that is a pocket now, I made it into a pocket, came from Darby's wedding gown. This was part of the bottom of the dress, and I really like how it came out. And then I popped this trim that I had in my stash right here, and these two appliques that were part of her dress, and also these two long appliques were part of her dress as well. I try to use as much as I could from her dress so that she could have a memory of it. And okay, so as far as the bottom, I attached these dangles that I had in my stash, and then on the next layer I attached these crystal looking sort of like water drops, like teardrops. I found them at an antique store, and I was really thrilled with this find. And then these I found at a store in out on Long Island, these trims. Okay, so this is the back of my wall hanging. Okay, so now I'm gonna go onto the front, and here it is. And okay, here I attached these trims that I had in my stash, and you could see the blue velvet right there. I wanted to I didn't want to hide this because I really like it, so pretty to look at. And then I think this looked nice against it. And then this trim that came also from a vintage store, which is this one, and this one came from Joann's Fabrics, this blue one. And then I did the same thing on this side, and then I went around the wall hanging with these pieces that came from the wedding gown, so all the way around. And then I popped the this printed image. This image is printed on fabric. Actually, this was an image that I really wanted for this project, but I had a hard time with it, so I asked my friend Kathy, hi Kathy, to send me this image, and she did. It was really nice of her, and she emailed me, and I was able to print it out. And then I attached this blue trim right here, which is this velvet trim that I got from Joann's Fabrics. And then I attached this white trim, which came from an antique store. Let's see if I can find it here. Well, I just wanted to show you how I did that. Oh, here. Okay. So it was like this, and what I did was I cut it in half, and I wanted it to show these little circles and use them to frame the image. Then I used this other trim right here. I went around with it. It's a pearl trim that I got from Joann's Fabrics, and I also popped this trim, which was a vintage trim that I had for a long time, and that is this one. Okay, and then I popped this other trim with the flowers, which I love. I love this color, and I got this trim from a store in Manhattan. And then I popped this trim here, which I got from Joann's Fabrics. It's a pearl trim, and I popped this applique that came from the wedding gown, and I popped these two appliques that I had in my stash, and behind them you could see appliques that came from the wedding gown. Then all of these flowers I handmade using these tulle in these colors, which I think are very pretty, and also using this organza. And I pop these centers into each flower, and also right underneath each flower I got this yarn from Michael's and cut a piece, and then kind of went like this, and then just popped a flower on top of it to give it a softer look. You could see it makes the flowers look softer. And then I also popped these stamen kind of peeping in between the flowers. I'll give you a close-up later. And also I put this applique right under here, which I thought would match her dress. Really pretty with these little sequins and these dangle pearls. I also popped this applique that I had in my stash, and one of these right there in the center, right there. And I also gave them wings. I made these wings for him using applique from the wedding gown, and I made the wings for her using this trim. Just cut kind of like this part of the trim, and I also use this part of the trim to attach right here on this side, and I stickled the little flowers that look like forget-me-nots, which is one of my favorite flowers, and her little bouquet and his little flower on his hat, which is so adorable. And I also stickled their outfits, kind of like outlined them, and of course their wings and these little blue rosettes. You know, you can get carried away with stickles, but anyway, I thought that would look cute. And then I popped this butterfly that I had in my stash. And as far as the dangles right here, same thing as in the back. I popped these, and then here I have these water drops, kind of looking like beaded trim, and these, and here in the middle I popped this doily and one of the appliques from her wedding gown. And yeah, so these are the dangles, and yeah, this is the trim I used. I was just so thrilled to find this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And oh, as far as the hanging part, the hanger, I bought this from Hobby Lobby, and originally it was black, but I gessoed it so it would look shabby chic. And then I popped these and made a bow using these pieces of seam binding, and I made a little butterfly using one of the appliques from the wedding gown, and I just popped two antennas. I don't know if you could see. Okay, so yeah, so this is my wall hanging. I hope Darby likes it. I also popped these little appliques in the corner of the channel for the hanging that holds the hanging piece. Yeah, let me give you close up. I hope you could see the stickles, and I'm not making you dizzy. This was a fun project. I really liked making this for Darby. Like I said, I really hope she likes it. And yeah, I apologize if this video is kind of long. It's just that I really like to show all the materials I use, because you know, some people don't do this stuff. They just love watching, and I do that because I want to show them where I got the stuff from, in case they may want to give it a go. Okay, so here's the back again. Okay, alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this project, and take care.